Hey, this is Nicholas with the Backyard TARDIS here with some more adventures in locksmithing. You might notice I'm not in my normal service van, and that is because I got rear-ended. And that is something I've had to deal with a lot. This will be this is the fourth time I've had my service vehicle rear-ended while I was at a complete stop. A third time at a traffic light. And then one time where traffic was just stopped because of an accident up ahead. This time the situation, I'm sitting there, the person behind me sitting there, the person behind that is coming to a stop, and the guy behind that is in a big F-250 lift kit, all that, and he just plows those two cars into the back of my van. Of course, I am running late for a job, rushing, trying to get there, sitting at this light, like, when will it change? When will it change? And this happens, and I had to call the customer, and I'm like, I know I said I'd be there at 5 p.m., but I'm coming, but it's going to be late, because there was 4 cars total involved in this, and there's going to be a lot of time with the officer, and sure enough, it took a little over an hour the officer to get everybody's information, everybody to get medically checked, all that kind of stuff. Of course, I was stiff maybe the next day, but no real damage. Didn't damage my van too bad, but it's going to take a couple of days as they put new bumpers and doors on the back. That's just, that's locksmithing. I had another time, I was sitting at a light, and a nurse coming off a double shift at the hospital accidentally stepped on the gas instead of the brake, and went from just almost no speed at all right behind me to jumping right into the back of the vehicle. Another time, a guy at a traffic light turned green, but the car in front of me didn't start going, and he just let off the gas and rolled right into me. He had a big pipe grill on the front of his truck, and put a big crease through the back doors so that they wouldn't open. But no major damage, as far as it didn't damage the frame at all. But I did have one that was more serious, and this was one time there's a traffic accident up ahead, and I'm on the highway, so the highway is at a complete stop. I stop, and this motorcyclist coming into town at about 70 miles an hour on a Harley Fat Boy, it's right where the sign says to slow down to 45. So he sees my lights. My van's big and he can't see the traffic in front of me being at a standstill. So he thinks I'm just slowing down, that I'm pressing on my brakes to slow down. So he slows down to 40 miles an hour and goes right through my black windows. His feet catch his handlebars, and that throws him back out of my van onto the highway. And I'm just looking in the rearview mirror at what looks like a limp body, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, he's dead. And I'm just on my way in, first job, freaked out. And then he stands up. He stands up, and thankfully there was a paramedic in the apartment building that was right alongside this. He rushed out because the guy started trying to take his shoes off, and he's like, don't, that's the only thing holding your feet together. They will swell up with blood if you take those off. He had multiple fractures throughout his leg, had fractured his tailbone. The guy was in his 70s. But the guy had the complete protective gear. Unlike most Harley guys that you see that just wear the the skull cap and the short sleeves, this guy had full protection gear, the neck guard, all that kind of stuff. And the officer showed him, he said, this is where you came out of the van, and he had clipped the bottom rim of the thing. Had he not had that protective gear on, he would not be here today. Though being in his 70s and having shattered his tailbone, he might not have wished to still be around after that. But the officer asked him, what are you in such a hurry for? And he says, well, when I was younger, I was in a really bad motorcycle accident, and I have to go to the chiropractor for therapy, and I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm running late for my appointment this morning. And the officer took one look at him, and he says, that didn't fix it for you? But it was that's got to be one of the, out of all the harrowing different things I've had with customers with guns and drugs or any of that kind of stuff that I've run into in this line of work, probably the most scared, dread, everything that I felt was seeing that guy fly through my back window, because I heard his brakes and I looked up and I watched him in the rearview mirror fly into the back of my van and then get shot right back out, and then just lying there on the highway. Was so relieved that he was alive, and just one of those things that GMC Savannas, they put the lights up at the top corners, and I think people don't notice that those vehicles are stopped. They don't see the lights. I've had so many times where I've been at a dead stop at a traffic light, had to do this, and it's so impromptu vacation for me. You'll probably see a couple of videos done in this vehicle because I have some time to kill. But anyways, that's just another day in a locksmith's life. Hope everybody's having a good day, and I'll catch you in the next one.